Welcome to Milk Market Tidbit for the June cold storage report that the USDA released Friday afternoon. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones, and I'm recording this on Saturday, July the 26th. So the cold storage report follows the milk production report, and then we get the dairy products report here in about 10 days. It's going to be a little bit later, I think, this month. So let's start with the May revisions, because those are always impact what we think is going to happen in June. So for cheese, cold storage was actually reduced about 3 million pounds. Now, one of the questions that I'm kind of looking at here is we think about this is only like 0.2% of a change. So that's probably within, standard error or normal deviation. But that revision down would suggest a slight increase in demand for cheese because we put less in cold storage than we originally had estimated. And the actual number for this month came up about 2 million pounds. We thought it would be a little bit higher, and StoneX thought it would be a little bit lower. But the demand for cheese in June might be slightly better than that in May. So we've been on this really upward trend, and we hit kind of the peak here in 2023 for cheese stocks. And so again, significant upward trend. And now we've really started reducing it, and we came down quite a bit. But one of the things that kind of concerns me is the fact that we are rebuilding here pretty good. If we look at that upward trend, last year was an outlier, so anything you compare to last year is probably not appropriate. American stocks is one we're most interested in because that has cheddar in it, and that is what actually impacts our prices. Kind of the same sort of scenario. Last year was a outlier, and it came in a little bit higher than what the seasonal adjusted number would be. Now, overall, American stocks represent about 57%. Compared that to 57.2 I printed last month, but again, with those revisions, it's probably closer to 57. But we'd been on this tremendous upward trend, and we had this big outlier here in 2017. And then we had a reduction, and we hit the bottom here, and then now we're rebuilding. But again, if we look at that short-term trend, it is definitely down. Other cheese stocks, tell about the same story, just been on this tremendous upward trend. And then we've been on a short-term trend down, and we are rebuilding those stocks as well. So when we look at butter, they revised the cold storage up about 3 million pounds for May. So that revision in May would suggest a decreased demand for butter. But when we actually printed June, it came down 10 million pounds, which is a little bit of a surprise. The typical would be adding a little bit, and StoneX had it taking away, but both of us were higher than what the USDA printed. So the demand for butter is probably a little bit better than that in May. So here are butter stocks, again, very seasonal. They came down, but really right on top of where we expected the seasonal adjusted number to be. So again, no big surprises. There's been a long-term trend for more butter stocks, and then lately, we're in about a level trend, I would say, off of that big upward trend. Again, last year was probably an outlier to the upside. So this is the cold storage report. The next milk market tidbit will be for the classic components that we get on next Wednesday. And then we're not going to get the dairy products report until the 5th.